doing the standard-based assessments, which I think are a great way to assess the students, especially in PE. It takes it from just having a skill assessment to breaking it down to, yes, psychomotor and the skill, but also cognitive, knowing about the activity or the lesson, and then their sportsmanship social aspect. It was a little difficult implementing the standard-based assessments, but now that we have it all figured out with Pinnacle and everything, it's going to be a really great asset for the school district in the years to come.
I have found that competency grading has helped me in the classroom with regard to what kids learn. If I grade an assignment and I see that there's one particular competency or more that they've not done well on, it's a place for me, it's another starting place for me to go and cover what I feel they need to be more proficient, and it's helped in that way. I think next year, after having a year of it under my belt, I think it'll be easier. I'll be able to work closely with the scoring, with the the competencies in the gradebook program, and I think it'll be a more smooth year next year.
And I like the way that the competencies are, the ones that we have this year are really sort of umbrellas for all of the standards. So when we are choosing or assigning a competency to an assignment, I feel that it is targeting more standards than what that competency actually states. And I like that because that's a good transition for us to move into more specific competencies next year. So it was really a good start this year, and I think we're ready to get into more specific competencies next year.
So how I've seen competencies as a counselor here at Sanborn is, I think they're actually a really good thing because it shows students what their strengths and weaknesses are more specifically in classes, and it helps us as counselors to see where we need to be pushing their students to become successful so they can graduate, earn their credits, move on to post-secondary or a job. I think ultimately, as we continue to use competencies and get more used to it, we'll be able to come up with a better program for competency recovery, so students aren't having to repeat classes and get bored and therefore become a handful for teachers, to put it lightly. The other thing that I don't really enjoy about the competencies is with the new language and the summatives and the formatives and having a rolling grade, I almost really just want to get rid of the whole quarters. I feel like we need semester-long grades as opposed to still thinking of it as quarters. I think that's going to make it easier for the community, for the teachers and the students to really understand the grading.
It's been very effective. I think it works well. I think it works well to have somebody in each building that's responsible for different issues that come up, so the response time can be fairly quick, and not to get bogged down with different situations that happen within the program that have pretty much diminished now. So there's been a lot of success with that, and as we continue to tweak it, people have been, I would guess now if we asked people, would you like to go back to what we were doing, I would say everyone would say no. Even with how difficult it was in the beginning to start that program, I think people would say they're very happy with the power of the program.
The past 4, 5, maybe even 10 years has been an era of complete transformation. I think the way in which we do business is incredibly sophisticated. I know that when I was a teacher in the classroom, I think our focus certainly was on the learning, but it was about engagement. You know, how do you get kids excited? How do you build the individual talents of students? But I think a lot of kids slipped through the cracks years ago. That there were skills that students never achieved in their schooling that affected the rest of their lives. I think it's really hard to slip through the cracks now. We have so many monitoring systems in place, and it's required ever more sophistication and dedication on the part of our teachers. I can't believe how hard our teachers work, from not just the time that they spend here physically in the school building, but the time they dedicate at night and on weekends. And I know we've always heard that about teaching and teachers, you know, you've heard that for years and years because it's true, but I think the way in which we spend our time is so different. The teachers here in this building, and I would venture to say throughout the district, know their children in ways teachers never knew their children before. We know what a student's strengths are, but we know what their weaknesses are, and the big challenge we face is how to find the time and the resources to fill those weaknesses.
I think the biggest benefit that we've seen so far this year to using competencies in the classroom is it really gives the kids a sense and an idea as to why they're doing what they're doing. I think is the biggest thing. Not only in the scope of just the unit, why are they doing, practicing these skills inside the unit, but after the unit's over, reflecting on what they've done, reflecting on the skills they've practiced, how they've accomplished what they were supposed to accomplish, and then how these skills are going to be applicable to things in real life. Transferring the stuff that they're practicing in class and the skills that they're learning in class, and applying them to things that they'll do for the rest of their lives, I think is really valuable for them. And they've learned that this year, so it's been great.
That's really turned around with once people got involved with the program and once they delved into the potential that the program has and being able to attach standards to assignments and really being able to craft our report card around that. They've seen the power in the program, and as we introduce new modules such as the curriculum and instruction piece, it continues to inspire teachers to really be involved, include other teachers. There's been more discussions with their peers about how to solve issues within.
I mean, I think this is a step, I think this is 10 steps in the right direction. Between the software and then the reevaluation of programs and how those programs interact with standards is a step completely in the right direction. Because now our instruction is a lot more focused. It's not so much what have we done in the past, and we know what we've done in the past works, but now it's why are we doing it, and are we teaching the right things? Really evaluating ourselves as teachers and our programs that we're using, and making sure that they're hitting the right things.